Happy Hispanic Heritage Month, everybody. This is the Slider Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Power Rangers Operation Overdrive, Episode 1 Fine Day. So this is a Rose and a Taizan solo episode, but mainly Rose because she really shines in this episode. And Rose is played by, I know I'm gonna butcher her name because I've been saying it wrong for years. I've been looking at it wrong. I believe it's Rhoda Montemayor. I believe that's how you say her name. And she is Filipino. And I'm hoping she's more of the Latino Filipino than she is Asian. Because I have no idea. Because trying to find it online is the hardest thing. Especially when she plays multiple races in television shows. So this is when I remember I told y'all, I think, what was it, during Asian Heritage Month. I had the hardest time finding out what she is exactly. But I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping she's Latino because, she plays a Latino in this and she is Filipino. So fingers crossed. And she's a really cool pink ranger. She's really intelligent. She was a professor at a university. And I really admire characters with brains. Commander Data, 7 of 9, Spock, you name it. Because I don't know, it's just I've always valued intelligence more than anything else. And so, I know she has that pirate episode, which is also a solo episode that's really good and really engaging. And she gets to be a pirate. I know that's a lot of people's favorite. I know it's her favorite and stuff. And I will talk about it soon. But this is actually an episode of hers I like a whole lot more. Mainly because I like when Taizan gets on her nerves. And you see a different side of her and stuff. Because normally she's always smiley, cheerful, not in a goody two shoes kind of way, but always in the upbeat kind of way, And here we get to see her be annoyed. Also, the Rangers get to wear civilian clothes. I do like their Operation Overdrive, civilian, uniforms, as well as their Ranger uniforms. But, it's just nice to see them wear regular clothes. And we also get to find out something about her in this episode that we really never got to know. Also, during, the battle scene, she really kicks some butt. And I remember just seeing that years ago when she was fighting. I just thought that was so boss and everything. Also, I love how she morphs in real time. She does it in pure anger. And it's just the way she does it. It's just so cool, man, And so this is why it's one of my favorite episodes of her. However, it's not a very good Taizan or Sentinel Night episode. They're both made to look weak and comedic, which is something I said before. Additional Rangers and their allies, they come out powerful until they're made to look like a joke. Also, we get some tidbits into Mac's past life and everything. And a huge reveal is coming in a couple of episodes. And so in this episode, we have Rose, and she's sitting down on the couch and she's reading a book. And her outfit looks really cute, man. You gotta give it up. Normally smart people don't get to dress all that cute and stuff in shows, and they gave her a really nice outfit. And I really like how their civilian outfits aren't the same thing every episode. During the Disney time, they realized something. Hey, people don't wear the same clothes every day. Oh, the Neo Saban era really screwed that up. And so Tyson is there, and he's just asking her a bunch of questions as she's just trying to relax and read a book. Why? Because it's their day off and they don't have to do no ranger stuff or looking for no artifact type stuff. And so she just wanted to, be in peace and read a book. And you know how people are when they just want to be in peace and read a book. They don't want nobody talking to them. But yet here comes Tyzon. And I really gotta give it up to the actor for wearing those contacts on the show. I've never worn contacts, and hopefully I never will. But like, people say they're a pain in the butt, especially when you have to act in them. And so this is when they started making him a little bit more the comedic relief. They actually started a couple of episodes ago. He's an alien, and I like the fact that he can be aloof, but I don't know if he's really all that aloof to stuff in this season. They just decided to make him comedic relief after giving him such a serious backstory. I hate it when they did that to the Six Rangers and stuff in the Disney era. And so, like, not only that, but in this episode, it was weird. It almost seemed like he was trying to befriend her as a love interest, which is weird because he likes Ronnie and stuff. So he's asking her a bunch of dumb questions. And she literally tells him straight up, those questions were dumb. And stuff. Basically, he asked her, like, when you was in the seventh grade, what did you eat for breakfast? And like, when you went off to college on like the third day of the week, what did you eat for breakfast? And it's just the most random, stupidest stuff ever. But of course, he's made to look like comedic relief. So she doesn't understand why he's asking these questions, and he literally said he just wants to get to know her, and they have the whole day for him to get to know her. She realizes, crap, she should have went on the picnic with the other Rangers. So she makes an excuse and she heads out. And so we see the other Rangers and they're talking, and they're talking about how it's like, their day off and all this other stuff. And like, and Mac is talking about how like years ago when he was a kid, he went camping with his father and all this other stuff and all the stuff they did. Seems normal, right? Well, put a pin in that for now. And so Rose show up and she's all like, I just wanted to get out and get some fresh air. She's wearing a different outfit now. And so like, but basically she said she had to get away from Tyzon. And, everybody else realized that's what it was because he's been acting weird lately. Then all of a sudden Tyzon shows up. And like he gave her back her book. Aw. But then he starts creeping her out even more, talking about how he wants to do this with her and he wants to know this about her. And you can see the annoyance in her face, but she's not mean about it. That's the one thing I like. Like she's not upfront. And well, other than talking about like, your questions were dumb. But she's not mean about it. She's smiling and like, let her friends know, like, see, what did I tell you? Like, type of thing, And at least she's polite about it and stuff. I remember Cassie, oh boy, she was just blunt and tell you how it is and stuff in Turbo. The first blunt Pink Ranger we ever had. Well, at some point in time, I think they see that Yeti. Oh, God, I hate the Yeti. I hate that character so much. It's not the actor. However, every person he plays in Power Rangers gets on my nerves because he plays them too overly comedic and over the top. And they're just annoying. But he's a good actor. Like, when you see him in serious stuff, it's like really good. It's just his comedy. He always does it over the top. So they want to see what this Bigfoot looking thing is, and they go following it. Mac knows exactly what it is, but he's keeping quiet for some bizarre reason. And there we finally see the Fear Cats, our villains of this season. And I like the Fear Cats. I like their look. I like their voices. I believe the actor who does the Yeti also voices one of them. And he does a really good job and when he does like the Fear Cat. Basically, they're looking for the Centaurian torch. And so they don't want the Rangers snooping around, so they put up a seal, a magical seal that looks very Mystic Force looking. I wonder why. Well, the Once a Ranger thing already happened. But anyways, he puts up the seal and like invisible wall shows up. So As the Rangers, well, first we actually get a scene with, I think, Professor Harper, or what his name is, the dad of Mac and Spencer. And they're talking about how they see a disturbance, but he doesn't want to call the Rangers because, it's their day off. Because some kind of energy has spiked up and stuff. And they're talking about how 2 years ago their life was so boring before they had Mac. And it's like, wait, hold up. Mac ain't 2 years old. Mac is like either like 18, 19, 20, something like that, or a little bit older. So, what the heck are they talking about? So, it's that weird mystery that later on we will find out exactly what they're talking about. Because Mac is having all these memories of like the past, and they're talking about they only knew him for 2 years. And basically, long story short, and major spoiler, Mac is an android. Fascinating. And I believe he was the only android ranger we ever had, other than in Turbo. But those are more like clone androids, contingency plan type thing. But anyways, so like, they're like looking for like the Yeti and they can't find him. Like he just disappeared and his footprints just literally stopped. And Tyzon's being his creepy, annoying self about like, I bet Rose would know what kind of footprints these are or where they'll lead or something like that, or something about her footprint. It's something that creeps her out. And so they hit the energy wall and everything. And Tyzon knows exactly what kind of energy wall this is, but he's not telling who like made it. So he said only he could pass through because he's an alien and he can like make his body turn to liquid. And so in order to get the others through, this is what's so weird. He creeps her out again. And it's the way he says it. He's all like, we can all pass through, but I have to hold Rose's hand. And she's all like, see what I'm telling you and everything. Like he has to hold her hand. But then he's all like, then she has to hold Mac's hand. And then Mac hold blah blah's hand and blah blah blah's hand. All he had to do is say, like, hey everybody, let's hold hands and let's pass through. Now one thing I noticed, the way he said it did sound weird. It's kind of like a pause. One thing I never knew is that Power Ranger fans feel that the Disney season had weird dialogue because everybody talks with a pause. What people don't probably realize, and which they should realize, is that like during the start of the true official Disney season, about 90% of the actors, no, 95%. 95% of all the actors you see in the Disney era are from New Zealand or Australia. And so, like, a lot of the Rangers, the majority of them are from Australia or from New Zealand. There were very few American Rangers in this era. So all these people, all these Kiwi people and Aussie people had to speak with a fake American accent. And when you talk with an accent, it takes a little bit longer for you to get your words out. Unless you practice it every day for hours and hours and doing it for years. Like Rose McIver. Rose McIver played, I forget her name. She played the female in RPM, the Yellow Ranger. And she used to have that stack minute, like fake American voice. But if you watch her on, what was it, iZombie or Ghost, that's currently on now on CBS, you can watch it on Paramount Plus. Oh, her American accent is perfect now. You can't hear no Kiwi-ness in there. She doesn't pause, like nothing. And it's a hilarious show. Anyway, so they all start passing through. But as soon as it gets to Mac, they can't pass through no more, and nobody knows why. And I couldn't figure out why either. But then when the Centaurian Knight shows up, and like, he can't pass through. And then you find out that revelation that, oh, it's because they're cybernetic, then that's why they can't pass through. And so, of course, Rose and Tyzon, they find the Fear Cats. They morph, they fight, and they end up getting their butts kicked. And so then, like, Tyzon realized that they have to, like, break the seal and all this other stuff. At some point in time, they do find the Yeti. He's screaming and hollering. Why? He has a splinter in his foot. Tyzon pulled it out, but it's not a splinter. It's a stake, a wooden stake. And it should have went through his entire foot. But of course, this is the Disney era, and they started adding in comedy. So he's really, like, grateful and all that. And God, I hate the Yeti so much. And so the Rangers, they realize they can't pass through. So Mac brought the Sentinel sword, which creates the Sentinel Knight. So interesting how a sentient, godlike being had to, like, put his body in, like, a robotic, like, sword. But it made for a cool ally and a cool battleizer. But he's just punching the crap out of it and can't get through. It is really lame, and it makes him look very weak. And he's basically taking orders from them. And he's a godlike being. He restored the Rangers' powers in the morphing grid. Like, and he's taking orders. What is that crap about? So anyway. They see, like, the magic seal, but here comes the, like, fear cat. So they're fighting in their civilian form, and I love this. I love civilian fights. Sadly, in the Disney era, this is also when it was the stunt actors doing it. So it always had them putting their heads down as they're fighting, which I always thought was a weird, unique fighting style. I'm like, what kind of fighting style is this? I'm like, wait, hold up. They're just, like, covering their face because they're stunt doubles. So this is when we get the cool, like, explosions that are, like, sky high that fans hate, but I love and everything. And so we see Rose get blasted, and, there's huge flames behind her. Then Tyzon really gets blasted, and he's hurt. And so at some point, like, he tells her, because I think earlier, which I haven't mentioned yet, back when I think they was fighting, he ended up getting hurt as well in his Ranger form. And when he was hurt in his Ranger form, like, he had to bandage himself up, and, he talks about how passing through that barrier weakens his alien species. So she's all like, oh, I never knew that. And he's all like, because you never, like, tried to get to know me. And so she realizes, oh, this is why you're trying to get to know me and everything. Basically, he tells her she's really smart, but she's always asking questions, but she never wants those asked about her. She's kind of like a private kind of person, which is something we never knew before. And it turns out that when she was growing up, she didn't feel like she was special. There was nothing unique about her. So she started reading books, and she wanted to know everything there was in the world. That's how she got really intelligent. And he tells her, plain and simple, like, you was born special and unique. It's just like the skills you learned help contribute to, like, your life and made you even, like, better person and stuff. That's one of those moral lesson type things. But it is kind of interesting to find out that growing up, she felt like she was just a nothing, you know what I'm saying? And there are many people who can relate to that and stuff. And always wonder what's their hobby, what makes them special, what makes them unique. And then they have to find it, like, as life, like, take shape. But just like he said, you were born with those skills and everything that made you special. You just had to, like, learn it and stuff. So anyway, back to, like, the current stuff. So he's hurt, he's on the ground, he's not moving, he's taken completely out for the rest of the episode because he's a additional ranger, and they end up turning out to be weak. So we get a very cool morph sequence. She's pissed, she's mad, like, she even, like, she got her head down, and she's cradled over his body, and she just takes some morphin and she just hits it on the ground, and she morphs in real time. And so she takes on the fear cat by herself, and fear cats are very tough, and she is just giving it to him. And when he knocks her over the cliff, she just leaps up in the air with her blaster and literally tells him she's mad. And she just starts blasting the crap out of him. But the fight gets broken up when the other fear cat has found the Centaurian torch, and he puts it in their Zord. So, but before that happened, and before after Tyzon got hurt, she used her tracker to break, the seal, which of course the Rangers are able now to pass through. Anyways, they bring on they morph and everything, and they show up, and she calls on the Zords. Tyzon is still hurt, so the Sentinel Knight is gonna take care of him because he's basically just taking orders. So, they're in the Megazord. And you know what I love about this Megazord? The Megazord sequence is practical. Like the toys and everything combining into the Megazord, just like the old days. And I miss that. And they're having a hard time trying to fight this Megazord. And so basically, Rose is Rose is really giving it. She's selling this performance and everything, taking leadership control and stuff, talking about how she's gonna go full throttle and they can't give up and and all this other stuff. And it's just really cool and stuff. Well, eventually, they destroy the Megazord and the Centaurian torch pops out. And it's really cool how they defeat the Megazord and stuff. But the Fear Cats, they survive. So anyway, when Tyzon finally wakes up after his little nap, they're all demorphed, and Rose runs up to him, and she's basically every morning for breakfast when she was in college, she ate scrambled eggs on toast, and she was just so happy to tell him that because she literally thought she was gonna lose him, die and everything, and she realized that his annoyance was just him trying to get to know her. But it looks like such a lovey-dovey scene and everything. Anywho, we get the Yeti again, and he talks about how he talks to Furious and everything. Furious has a great design, man. That dude looks awesome. And basically, Furious is all like, "What if the Rangers was in the woods and you were here taking a stroll through the woods and everything like that?" Well, he tried to tell him, "Yo, I did see the Rangers in the woods," because after they got Tyzon and everything, the Ranger saw the Yeti and he saw the Red Ranger and he just ran scared and everything because Mac knew him. And so basically, that's basically it in the episode. It's a really cool action episode, and it's a really episode where you get to really know who Rose is, which is really cool because, like I said before, we don't know nothing much about her other than her being smart and being a teacher.